cheaper than therapy.
Robert, tell me more about your feelings.
Talk it out. Here, News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, Drive Time on the air on this Tuesday, and we start with having the courage to be an unabashed idiot and not even feel bad about it. Kristi Noem, everybody. What a colossal, to me, embarrassment and an incredible fall from grace. Kristi Noem, before she joined, well, to me it goes back to the book where she told the world she killed her dog. Is this the takeaway for all of us? If you've ever done something in your life that feels like potentially embarrassing, like a potential vulnerable moment where you want to share it with the world, ask 5 people who are not your best friends if you should share this factoid. If Kristi Noem didn't tell the world that she killed her dog, would ICE have surged into Minneapolis? I don't know. I'm just asking. Because what we saw today, for the first time, I think, in maybe 2 presidential administrations, we saw a congressional hearing that actually had a purpose. And it's because Republicans and Democrats were asking Kristi Noem tough questions. Because despite those of you who are still holding on to this idea that what ICE did here in Minnesota was just fine, and it was all the fault of the kind of nasty protesters, Republicans in Congress are grilling Kristi Noem about what happened in our community. Republicans in Congress understand that what happened here is not okay. It's not okay. It's not what we expect as Americans. It's not what we want as a society. You should give yourself permission to feel differently than whatever Donald Trump says. Because what happened here was an abomination. And I do think, honestly, if you are defending the ICE surge and the tactics in Minneapolis, I feel sorry for you, because in 5 years or 10 years, history will judge this as a turning point, a point where the federal government went so far, so beyond the pale, that Republicans and Democrats agreed that this was too much. So, I'm giving you permission to get ahead of this thing. You don't have to Angie Craig on the bit and renounce your vote a year and a half from now. You can change your mind today, and it's best for all. So we have some sound from Kristi Noem today, but I'll tell you my general thesis and invite you to respond at 651-461-9226. And that thesis is that if Donald Trump really wants to keep achieving progress on protecting the border, on fighting against the worst of the worst, if they're really out there, on curtailing illegal immigration, on, frankly, sending people back. Most Americans, or at least half of Americans, believe that every person who is here illegally should be deported. So a lot of these things are more popular than the pundits would let you believe. But if Donald Trump wants to have any success in any of that, he's got to fire Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem should be fired tonight. 651-461-9226. She's been a train wreck, and this testimony was embarrassing. I don't know if what bothers me the most about it is that she doesn't seem embarrassed. She reminds me of my own children when they would lie directly to my face, and they get caught, and they wouldn't care. You're like, well, that's sort of what Kristi Noem. And I know what you're thinking, Jason, like that's a little strong to say that she was lying. So to me, the most disgusting public thing that Kristi Noem did here in Minnesota, the most egregious thing was the tactical decision to surge 3,000 federal agents into a community that they knew was going to be antagonistic. They did it to provoke the reaction. They wanted the fight. They wanted the chaos. That, to me, is, and that blew up on the White House. So if I'm Donald Trump, I'm like, you embarrassed the family. When you embarrass the family, you're done. The loyalty to me, when you've embarrassed the family, adios. Not to speak Spanish to Kristi Noem. Probably not the correct dispensing of her. So here is Kristi Noem responding to whether she's maybe had second thoughts about whether or not it was appropriate to refer to Alex Preddy and Renee Good, but specifically Alex Preddy, as a domestic terrorist.
Ma'am, I did not call him a domestic terrorist. I said it appeared to be an incident of.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That's interesting. So that was questioning from Senator Amy Klobuchar. And, Amy Klobuchar said, well, I think the families, got the message. But what did Kristi Noem actually say? Our friend Dan Cook, back in the producer chair, thought, I wonder what the exact verbiage from Kristi Noem was. And she said this.
When you perpetuate violence against a government because of ideological reasons and for reasons to resist and perpetuate violence, that is the definition of domestic terrorism. This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts.
Committed an act of domestic terrorism. Where are we at on this? Does she get half a point in that she didn't specifically say they were domestic terrorists? She just said they committed an act of domestic terrorism. What are we doing here? What are we doing? It is interesting because I have friends who live in the Dakotas. And Kristi Noem, when she was the governor of South Dakota, you think here is someone who is really on top of the political world. She's media savvy. She's beautiful. She's rural. She's, now she's 54, but you're like, she was in her low 50s, younger. You're like, holy moly, this person the star is rising. And then she had to tell everybody she killed the dog. You know what? If you ever killed your dog, people, just zip it. Nobody wants to hear it. America, we love dogs. I get grief for being anti-dog, and I pet every single dog that I can find. I love dogs. Kristi Noem killed her dog, sent the troops in to kill Minnesotans. Tough to outrun those allegations. Republicans came at her hard, and lots of texts coming in at 651-461-9226. One texter saying she looks good in tight jeans, cowboy boots, and hat, and that makes her qualified to Trump. She was the governor of South Dakota, which should tell you a lot about South Dakota. Another texter say killing my dog is the new jumping the shark. It might be true. That might be true. Oh, no, I just killed my dog. I don't mean that literally. I mean it in the Kristi Noem sense. I like it. Trump should fire her. And honestly, I'm surprised he hasn't. I'm surprised he hasn't because he's usually more decisive than that. I feel like when you are reflecting poorly on him, it's a no-brainer. Here's another example. And this, to me, gave me hope today because I've been very down on the whole congressional hearing thing. because congressional hearings, it's such a circus. No one is asking questions. It's just statement, statement, statement. Every senator, every representative just trying to get their viral social media. And so what's the point, right? Well, the point was today when you got to see Republicans and Democrats both going after Kristi Noem. And one of the, there really were two Republicans who let her had it. Tom Tillis. Now, Tom Tillis is no Trump supporter, right? But he's a Republican from North Carolina, and he absolutely let Kristi Noem and the Trump administration have it.
Why am I disappointed with Secretary Noem? Because we're not going after enough people who did this damage at the expense of running numbers that Stephen Miller wants out of the White House. We just want numbers. We want 1,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 9,000 a day because numbers matter, right? No, they don't matter. Quality matters, not quantity, quality. And what we've seen is a disaster. Under your leadership, Ms. Noem, a disaster. What we've seen is innocent people getting detained that turn out are American citizens. I could talk about the culture that's been created here with Stephen Miller aiding and abetting. I heard first reports that he was the one that said it was a domestic terrorist situation where two people lost their lives in Minneapolis. I've heard that report. Maybe you can refute it. I don't know that we'll have time for you to respond because I'm giving you a performance evaluation here. I'm not looking for a response.
How about that? John Kennedy, Republican from Louisiana, says, how do you justify spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertisements in which you are prominently featured? You're so concerned about government waste. What's that about? Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, is like, now he didn't go after her. He praised the Department of Homeland Security. You know, Grassley is Grassley. But he did say, like, hey, why did you guys not respond to an Inspector General report on the security risk of allowing passengers to go through airport security with their shoes on? You know, a lot of people don't love the taking your shoe off thing. But Chuck Grassley annoyed. 3 Republican senators let Kristi Noem have it. To me, adios. Fire Kristi Noem. It's a no-brainer. Lots of texts coming in at 651-461-9226. I'll share your reaction. Your call's welcome as well. We'll talk about that when we come back here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dan Cook is back from Florida. He looks amazing, except one concern, Daniel. Little bit of sun.
Yeah.
A little bit of sun. I know you did your best.
I tried.
You did your best. I mean, the truth is, Dr. Mohiba Tureen, who is my dermatologist at Tureen Dermatology, has told us before she came on the show, and she's like, just one time of spending too much time in the sun is enough to have an adverse effect that will affect you for the rest of your life. One bad exposure, one bad burn can increase your long-term risk of sun cancer. Now, you could be in Florida and that could happen. You could be outside in Burnsville and the sun reflecting off the snow, or sitting by the lake up in Nisswa, and that reflected sun can increase your risk of skin cancer. If you have ever noticed a mole that changes, a spot that doesn't heal, or you've never gotten a baseline full-body skin checkup, I want you to do it now. Tureen Dermatology can get you in within 3 weeks. I go to Roseville. They've got 10 locations all over the Twin Cities. Wherever you live, there's a Tureen Dermatology that's close to you in within 3 weeks, so don't mess around. Go to the website today, TAREEN, TureenDermatology.com. Schedule your appointment and make sure you tell everybody over at Tureen you hear us talk about them on Drive Time.
If you have a vacant investment property and want to sell it, call the John Schuster Group with Coldwell Banker Realty. They can get you the most for your investment. I know. I've seen them in action. It's Vanita. John's marketing system helps him sell houses fast and for the most money possible. That's what you want. Craig just worked with the Good Neighbor agent, that's what we call him, John Schuster, to sell a home. Craig was building a new home and wanted someone to move in right when it was finished. John's marketing system helped Craig find a buyer on time. It took John, get this, 10 days to sell Craig's house for $15,000 over the asking price. This is a huge investment. You'll want to make money. And you start with, what is your home worth? Are you curious what your home's worth? Find out in seconds. Just go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Jason DeRUSH.
I mean, the truth is, I am a terrible influence on Minnesota, on America, and perhaps the world.
Well, I've known that for years, but other people are just finding out.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All Kristi Noem had to say today would have been, I regret calling 2 American citizens who were killed by federal agents domestic terrorists. I really think that would have gone a long way. But my God, in this world, we can never say that we said something wrong, can we? She was wrong. They are not domestic terrorists. No matter how irritating protesters might be, no matter how annoying the people who are following ICE agents around were, even interfering, even if you tried to physically get in the way of these ICE agents like Renee Good did. Now, Alex Preddy, give me a break to try to argue that he was interfering. He was not. Renee Good was interfering. She was. That makes you a domestic terrorist? Get a grip. These are the people running our government. Just absolutely outrageous to me. And so just say like, oh, man, like we were given bad information from the scene. We are very concerned about the escalating kind of rhetoric against our agents. And so I was wrong. Imagine that. Texters, Jason, yes, fire Kristi Noem, but do we think her replacement will be any better? It's the same guy hiring. I do think the replacement could be better. What about the $70 million jet they want to give her to use when she already has access to an administration jet? I think Trump is giving her a pass. His philosophy is never admit you're wrong. So she's following the Trump policy. This is not just the Trump policy. We've seen this here from Governor Walz. This is politics today. I hate it, man. I hate it. Apologizing, learning, growing, so good. So good. And I'm here, and we're going to talk about someone who has apologized for something, an elected official, coming up at 4 o'clock, coming up at the next hour. On YouTube, Trumpy ain't falling for any of your MSM tactics by firing anyone in his cabinet this time around. He picked his team. He has their back just as they have his. Get used to it. It's called loyalty. How far should loyalty go? How far should loyalty go? We got the whatabouts. I love the whatabout texters. My challenge for all of you in this new year is when your brain thinks like, well, I'm going to ask Jason, what did he say about this under the Biden administration? You know what I'm going to tell you? Shut up. Stop it. Just stop it. That's not what this show is. This show is not a scoreboard of everything that everyone has ever said or ever done. This show is a conversation about stuff that's going on today. So we're not going to play that. You can do it if you get a thrill out of saying, like, well, what did you say when Mayorkas said that? Who cares? Is this how you have conversations around the house? Your wife tells you to pick up your underwear off the bedroom floor, and you're like, well, what did you say to your boyfriend who you were living with 47 years ago? Did you tell him to pick up his underwear? Huh. I didn't think so. Just stupid. Just so stupid. Like, my gosh. It drives me crazy. Jason, thanks for taking my text. I have to agree. I mean, I thought my neighbors, which are Dems, are crazy. I thought my neighbors were nuts. This lady is crazy. She's got to go. Thank you, Thomas. I think Republicans are saying this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Texters. Jason, your side lost. I'm embarrassed for you. It's like your girlfriend broke up with you and now you're saying bad things about her. Another texter. Jason, she was crooked when she was governor. I don't know. I'm just saying, I guess to me, when you say Kristi Noem's biggest initiative and biggest strategy choice was instead of doing the Tom Homan approach, which would have been the smart approach, I will be on here praising it. Man, Trump said he was going to shut down the border. He did. Trump said he was going to get rid of people who are in this country illegally, who have committed crimes and are a threat to our communities. I would be saying fantastic. And instead, they sent 3,000 troops in here to an area that wasn't really a problem, but it came on the radar because of fraud. And because the fraud was being prosecuted on Somali Minnesotans. And so it's retribution. Like, let's just be serious. Let's break. City of St. Paul is renewing their ask. Grand Casino Arena is old, but they don't want a new arena. They do want taxpayer money. We'll let the mayor of St. Paul make her case when she joins us in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If today got away from you a little bit, meetings ran long.
Before we leave, can I just ask a quick question?
Headlines ran wild.
This just in.
Our top story
tonight, live at 11. Breaking news.
Now at 11.
Your social media feed is like drinking from a fire hose. and somehow it's already evening. That's why there's 830 on the go. 6 to 7 minutes. The stories everyone's talking about. The ones you missed without missing a beat. For everything you need to know, it's 830 on the go.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
35W northbound has grabbed the ramp to downtown Minneapolis. Still got an accident working there for the most part. Everything's off to the right shoulder, but still some slowing as you make way through the area. 35W northbound near Hennepin Avenue. Accident into the right lane there, keeping you on the slow side as you move out of downtown. 35 east southbound. Looks like we're going to find some slow stuff there as you move between Victoria Street and Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Pork chops, tenderloin, bacon. Oh, yeah. It's full of flavor and high in protein. Taste what Minnesota pork can do for you. 3,000 family farmers want you to get the grocery store, the butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Minnesota Pork Board. Taste what pork can do. Here is Chris Schaefer.
Just a few clouds overnight tonight and quite mild. 35 the overnight low, which is our average high this time of year. Plenty of sunshine with a high of 55 tomorrow. Mid-50s again Thursday with more clouds. Warm enough. Our next storm system on Friday will be rain with a few thunderstorms possible late in the day.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is warm. It's 52 and sunny on CCO.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, here we go again. The city of St. Paul trying to get the state of Minnesota to chip in to renovate Grand Casino Arena. I think a lot of us, when we go to watch a Wild game or go to watch a concert, you think like, man, this is such a great experience. It's perhaps the best place in the Twin Cities to see a concert. And the urgency here, a lot of us don't see it, which has been a bit of the challenge in trying to get legislators to understand. Well, it's always hard to get legislators to pay for a sports arena. There's lots of politics, lots of emotions in this. And the mayor of St. Paul, Kaohly Her, is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline to make the case. Mayor, good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. This is the first big ask of the legislature for you in your first term as mayor. $200 million that you and the Wild are seeking to upgrade the whole complex Some of this for the Grand Casino Arena, some of this for Roy Wilkins Auditorium. Tell me why you think this is a good deal for the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that we have to center ourselves in understanding that this is a city property. So these are 3 properties that belong to the city, and that these are city properties that generate revenues for the state, and that the Wild is our tenant who leases it from us, and that they're putting in a third of the cost of renovation, or we're putting in a third as a city, and we're asking for the state for a third. And this process makes it so that we do not have to increase any property taxes to address this, because the city's portion will be funded through our own bonding authority. And so I think that it is important for us, if we want to look at what is happening within our state and the need to generate more revenues for our state in taxes, that we have to have facilities that can compete with other venues so that we can continue to generate those revenues for our state and for our city.
What's wrong with Grand Casino Arena right now?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily look at things from either like what if there's something that's right or wrong. I think we have to remember that this complex, the Grand Casino, is 26 years old. The Roy Wilkins is almost 100 years old. And the funding that we're asking for the Roy Wilkins also includes the River Center. And these are all facilities that when they were built 26 years ago, some of the standards that we have now around safety or around, the codes, that those things did not exist. I mean, if we think about people's ability to work in buildings and what happened during COVID, our HVAC systems that were built 26 years ago do not accommodate the needs of what we're seeing going into the future. And so this is us making sure that the items behind the walls and how we're operating our buildings, that we actually meet those needs. I think that it is important for us to do that. And people might look at it and cosmetically think everything is fine, but there's a lot of infrastructure that we need to actually update within these buildings.
Yeah, I think part of what people don't understand is that, Grand Casino Arena competes with Target Center, competes with the new Mystic Lake Amphitheater in Shakopee. I mean, everybody's competing for similarly sized concerts. And one of the challenges with Grand Casino Arena / River Center is like the loading dock situation. If you were a big modern touring concert act, it stinks. It is very difficult to load in and get your stuff through the concourse. And I know, like, the people at the Capitol, maybe your legislators and maybe your taxpayers around the state are like, is that a big deal? That is a big deal, is what the arena people are telling me.
Yeah, and I would say that I think that it is important for us to be competitive. We do have to update our facilities. But I would also ask for us as a state and as a city and as a state to understand that this venue generates taxes for the entire state. And if the state does not pitch in its portion of it, that means that when we wait too long and then we finally have to do the work, it will all fall on City of St. Paul residents' property taxes. And that when a venue is a public property, and is generating revenues for people across the state, we absolutely should then all be pitching in and asking a team who doesn't own that facility but uses it, and they're going to continue to pay lease and pilot to us, even with their third of upfront investment. I think that that's a really good deal for our residents and our state of Minnesota.
Kaohly Her is the mayor of St. Paul, talking about the request from the Wild and the city for the state to chip in. Now, last year the ask was $50 million. Originally, the ask was $400 million. How did you come up? I mean, is this 200? Is this like an opening negotiation, or is this what you think really needs to be chipped in to get this done today?
I mean, this is what we really need. We really scaled down. When I brought everyone back to the table to negotiations, it was, what do we need to do? And there were some things that the team decided that they could forego, and there are things that we're working on. Like the whole Roy Wilkins is not going to get renovated from this. We're literally working on the infrastructure underneath the Roy Wilkins, so that then when we get to future phases, that we can actually address the Roy Wilkins Auditorium itself. But this makes the River Center more usable, right? The convention part of it. And so, like, we're trying to be reasonable in what we're asking for. And I think that this is a reasonable ask, because the original project, I think, was almost $1 billion. And we're saying with $600 million, we will do a third, Wild will do a third, and we're asking the state for a third. I think that is a really reasonable ask.
When you look at how important Grand Casino is to what's going on in downtown St. Paul and when it's the success of St. Paul as a city. How important is it?
I mean, I think it's very vital. If anyone who knows anything about the city of St. Paul is that we know that the area of where we have the Grand Casino and the Roy Wilkins and River Center, we also have the Ordway and a number of entertainment venues, and it's always we're doing very well there. Right? When we have events at all these venues, downtown St. Paul is thriving. But when we don't have events there, then we do have issues. And we know that more activity leads to a greater safety. We know that more activity leads to development and investment into our downtown and wanting to build housing there. We know that we have to have this economic engine for the rest of everything else to come in. So if people want housing, they should absolutely be supporting this project. If they want to have better and redistribute the tax base to more businesses, they should absolutely want this because businesses shoulder a larger portion of the property taxes. And so if we want to address the property tax issue, we absolutely should be supporting this project.
You were in the legislature. You know how hard it is to convince the entire state that they should chip in for this. What's your gut tell you in a gubernatorial election year with an almost evenly divided Senate, an evenly divided House? I mean, what are your chances here?
You know, I'm an eternal optimist, and I always believe that if there is a will, there is a way. And I will say that when you look at the financial case for this, think about it, right? On average, this Grand Casino brings in about $15 million in taxes to the state. If you think about the 26 years that it's been in existence, how much? And that's being really conservative, right, in our estimates. So just think of over the course of those 26 years how much it has contributed to the state. And if we want to continue to do the programs that we care about, to continue to do a public good, we absolutely should be supporting venues that will be able to pay more property taxes. And we can increase the bookings and the entertainment that's happening there if we have better facilities to compete. So I think that if we all look at just the financial piece of it, it makes sense for us to absolutely do this. And I hope that is enough for our legislators. And that's where my optimism comes in, is that I know that they want to raise more revenues for our state, and this is a way to do that.
The Wild, we know, the Wild does pay rent, and they pay, so they're, I don't know, I think the last I read was they all in end up paying around $3 million or so. Rent is a little shy of $2 million. But so they're paying rent. You have all the events, all the other stuff. Let's be serious for a minute. If you don't if you don't renovate, Grand Casino Arena is not going to shut down. It's a city-owned asset. You're still going to have concerts and other events. What is the risk if you don't renovate? Is the Wild talking about the Timberwolves are talking about building a new arena. Maybe we go over there. What is the risk if nothing happens?
You know, I think that we could have that conversation, or we can talk about that. The city already has almost $1 billion in deferred maintenance in all of our city assets. That those things, when buildings start to fall apart, when we cannot operate them existing without a tenant becomes extremely problematic for us. That even when we have tenants, there will always be, and we all know who people who own properties, right? Properties depreciate, and they break down over time. And so the city has the same issues with all of our properties, and every city has issues with this. And so if we want to be able to maintain our properties and to ensure that the future cost of all the liabilities don't fall on the existing taxpayers, we have to take care of these buildings now. It's as if you had a home, and for 26 years, you just let that building sit there, and then you expect that somehow that building is going to be operational. It existing in itself does not mean that building is suitable for use. And so we have to remember our city assets are the same thing.
Well, you've been to WCCO Radio, haven't you?
I have.
You know what happens with decades of deferred maintenance not being done? You've seen our studios.
Absolutely. And that's why we have to take care of it, because they serve a public good.
Kaohly Her, I'll tell you, the texters and the commenters, you can imagine. Minnesota people are never enthusiastic about spending money for this. And I think part of it is that it is perceived as we're bailing out the Wild, or we're building a palace for professional athletes. And you're really trying to convince people and get people to understand that St. Paul owns this arena. It's not the Wild's. So if you let it go to crap, you have It's a St. Paul problem and then ultimately a state problem.
That's exactly right. And I think that we have to remember that if it were a different tenant, would we feel different about that, right? If I had a building that belonged to our city, and instead of having a sports team and having concerts coming in and having culture events coming in, and they were not the tenants, but it was somebody was renting it for office reasons, we wouldn't make that same argument because somebody is paying upfront, a third of the cost of it upfront, and they're going to pay lease and they're going to pay payment in lieu of taxes, which we are continually arguing about who should be paying into that. This team is saying they are invested in St. Paul and they're willing to pay that because they care about our city. We should want those types of tenants in our city.
Mayor of St. Paul, Kaohly Her, appreciate it. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you so much for having me.
And now they go off to the legislature and try to get it done. Your tax, keep them coming. 651-461-9226. To me, if the city of St. Paul loses Grand Casino Arena, you may as well, shut the doors. It is, yes, the Ordway is significant, but it's pretty much Grand Casino Arena with 150 nights a year booked. That's the draw in downtown St. Paul right now. And with all the state hockey and state wrestling and all that other stuff, I don't see how you have much of a choice as a state. You've helped, you help on all these projects all over the place, but just because it's a sports team, you're going to say no? I don't think so. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jefferson Lines is your #1 bus experience. With daily schedules to every corner of Minnesota to thousands of destinations across the country, it's the most convenient way to travel. Jefferson's luxury motor coaches offer free passenger Wi-Fi and individual charging outlets so you can stay connected. Book your travel today from Minneapolis to Duluth for as low as $36 and ride comfortably and confidently knowing you're traveling with Minnesota's best transportation company of 2025. Don't wait. Seats are going fast. Book online at jeffersonlines.com.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Larry Elder here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer, out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Across 35W northbound, and as you grab the ramp to downtown Minneapolis, it's just about ready to clear out of the way. Still some activity off to the right side, but it should clear shortly. South 35W, some slowing there as we move past University, heading down to about 42nd Street, traveling Highway 36 eastbound. Got some slowdowns right now as we make way between Snelling Avenue and Rice Street. Southbound 35 East, some slowing through downtown St. Paul as you head down to Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the
comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $99 furnace tune-up and safety check. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. More heating going on this week. Tonight, the low is 35. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and 55. Thursday, let's repeat it. We've got rain and thunder possible on Friday. Welcome to March, right? Right now in St. Paul, it's 52 on CCO.
Drive time with DeRUSH.
I'm just going to give it a big fat so what?
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Right, I do like the texter who thinks that Grand Casino should be allowed to just put slots in there. I mean, we could get creative on financing, right? Like, why is it always got to be like tax money? How about we legalize sports gambling, but all of it has to happen inside through the Grand Casino Arena?
Well, what about the electronic pull tabs, right? That paid off didn't that already pay off the Vikings Stadium?
Yeah.
So, but the pull tabs are still out there. That money's got to go someplace.
There's options, right? But no one wants to go on record voting for the Wild. We got the Wild anew, but it's owned by the city. And it is the number one attraction in the city of St. Paul. Let's be serious. So there is a state interest. People come from all over the state to go to these things. Okay, Dan Cook is back with us.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since you've been back here in studio.
Right. A week since I've been on your show.
So I, of course, as a typical broadcaster, a talent, if you will, little insecure. Like, Dan is off in Florida. He's got maybe a less demanding. I don't know. I don't know what it's like working on the Venita show.
Right.
And then I'm just listening.
Like you do.
I'm like, all right. It's, there's Venita doing her thing, getting the players. And, it's the Saw Car Salute. I always love a Saw Car Salute.
Who doesn't?
Like, it's a little kind of heartwarming tribute to somebody doing something great. And then I heard.
So for context, last Thursday marked 25 years for me at this radio station, which is absurd on so many different levels that I've been able to fool these people for this long. But 25 years, that's a significant amount of time.
A lot of bosses have passed through here.
Yeah,
a lot of hosts that you've had to deal with.
Yes, a lot of varied personalities.
Right, 25 years, pretty great.
That's not bad.
What I do for you on your 25th?
I don't remember. I don't recall. But I did get the Saw Car Salute, during which Venita did this.
On behalf of everyone at the station.
Oh, my.
And actually, they probably won't let me expense this, so it's really for me. I got you something
a mini
here.
bat.
You can open it. Yeah, I was
I love a mini.
And it says, so it's a little mini twin spring training bat. It's a specific 2026. I didn't cheap out and get you the 2025 one. So it's 2026.
DeRUSH totally would have gotten the 2025 one, by the way.
It was on sale.
100%
This one was not, and I wanted to get you the 2026.
So kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Little mini bat with 2026 representing the 25 years at WCCO. It was very kind of Venita.
So, are you leaving this show?
Balls in your court, DeRUSH.
I mean, I'm taking kind of shrapnel in that situation there. I just sit and
I don't hear you denying it.
I just eat my yogurt, having my Greek yogurt, having my Livia meal, just trying to live my life. And I'm like, what the hell, man?
The best part would have been
my producer and he's giving me crap on the air.
The best part would have been you trying to justify saving money on the 2025 bat because it was 25. So that represented the 25th
year. Yeah, well, I think we all know that I would have gotten it for free and given it to you.
You would somehow weasel a deal?
There would have been a deal. Next thing you know, I'm doing Instagram videos like, hi, it's Jason for Mini Bats.
Here's the part that I'll push back a little bit. for you and not against Vanita, but
I like that sound.
So I know you like that.
Yeah, let's go.
So what happened was we get done with the show on Wednesday, and we walk out to towards the car. She's like, "Oh, hold on, I got to run over. I think the gift shop's open. I want to get some stuff for the guys back in the studio." Right? She faked me out. Okay, fine. But what happened then was I have to stand out by the car waiting for her to come back, and now I got to talk to the guy in the parking lot for like a year and a half. So,
she stranded you with a stranger.
I gotta talk to people. You know how I am about that.
I know. Have you recovered? I know you had to take an extra day off because you were so wiped from 2 weeks in Florida.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to be back.
You're better. You seem energetic.
I feel good. Yes, that extra day was actually key. That was very smart.
It's kind of a smart move if you can make that plan at the end. Not that it was a vacation, but at the end of a work trip or whatever.
Yeah.
Like to
just relax a little bit. A full 3 days to kind of decompress a little bit and be rested and ready to come back and run the DeRUSH show.
Mornings, not bad. You get the whole day to yourself.
Yeah, but you got to be up at like 5 in the morning, and that was Florida time, and be 4 in the morning back here. No, I'll pass.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back.
Glad to be back, Jason. Where's my bat?
I didn't get you crap, I'll tell you that much. 25 years, you know what you can have? Come back to work tomorrow.
Hi, it's Vanita, and we know how great the John Schuster Group is, but it's wonderful to hear from people who have benefited from that relationship. One of them is Ray from Minnetonka. Ray, thanks so much for joining us. Why did you choose the John Schuster Group?
At our first meeting with Tim and Abby Lehman, we clicked right away.
What was your experience like selling your home with the John Schuster Group?
It was incredibly simple. Our first day on the market, we got our first offer, and I was like, wow, we did get multiple offers, but we went with the first offer we got on Friday.
Okay, bottom line, why should every WCCO listener contact the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, when it's time to move?
From the moment they walked into our home, we had nothing to worry about with them. We're just beyond our expectations. We just can't thank them enough.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up. I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah. I only paid. Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Two U.S. officials tell CBS News that B-2s have been targeting command and control nodes of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, weapon depots, and an assembly facility for Iran's rocket program. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is updating lawmakers on Capitol Hill on this fourth day of war with Iran and says of the mission objectives,
CENTCOM in a joint operations is carrying out a systematic destruction of their missile belt, destruction of their launchers, and destruction of their ability to make these, as well as the destruction of their Navy. From what I've been told by the Department of War, everything is on or ahead of schedule.
Secretary Rubio says they're trying to help Americans leave the region. President Trump is offering assurances to the world as Iran retaliates in the Gulf.
Posting on social media, the president said he's ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, or the DFC, to provide reasonably priced political risk insurance and guarantees of financial security for, quote, all maritime trade, especially energy, traveling through the Gulf. The president added, if necessary, the U.S. Navy will escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. And he said, quote, no matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is among those receiving updates on the situation in Iran, and he says of the strikes and the narrative.
The American people do not want an endless war. The administration doesn't seem to know what it's doing. Every hour there's a different rationale as to why we're doing this.
Texas voters have turned out for both parties over a closely watched Senate primary. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Voter Michael Collins in Mansfield, Texas, definitely wants Republicans to stay in power.
Well, I like the way that Trump is running the country.
Stan Williams says he is worried about the economy, among many other things.
I'm concerned about the immigration stuff, concerned about the stuff with men and women's sports.
But voter Dwayne Henry says,
I just feel that changes need to be made.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Voters are also heading to the polls in Arkansas, and those in North Carolina look to narrow a competitive Senate race. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has defended the immigration crackdown during her testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota has pressed Noem about the fatal shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents.
Are you defending stopping off-duty
I would like to hear you talk about some of the operations that
dragging
we've
a
done to
Hmong
bring
elder
people
out of
to
his
justice.
home?
When you only talk about these situations like this that we are conducting, and you don't talk about the good work that they do to protect people from being victimized.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sunny and 52 degrees at 4:03. I'm Mark Fry. This hour's top story. A hearing continues in St. Paul this hour where a federal judge is threatening to hold Minnesota's U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen in contempt of court for failing to return the belongings of immigrants who were held in detention during Operation Metro Surge. KARE 11's Lou Ragoose telling our own Chad Hartman it was tense right out of the gate.
He was a little combative with Judge Bryan, and so they were going back and forth. Judge Bryan was cutting him off. Dan Rosen accused the judge of smearing his office. And in the beginning portion of the hearing, which the judge thought was only going to last 3 or 5 minutes, ended up taking up an hour.
The federal judge also said if Rosen did not comply, he could face imprisonment. So far, no decision has been announced. Again, this hearing comes after 28 wrongful detention cases were filed by immigrants. U.S. courts have been bogged down with cases and petitions filed since Operation Metro Surge began in early December. A Hugo woman is now charged with making threats of violence against Minnesota House Speaker and gubernatorial candidate Lisa Demuth.
According to the criminal complaint, 42-year-old Rachel Welsh left a series of threatening voicemails, including telling Demuth she has been learning how to shoot and is getting really good. Demuth has petitioned for a restraining order, and a judge has ordered Welsh to have no contact with Demuth, undergo mental health screening, and submit to GPS monitoring. WCCO radio political analyst Blois Olson says the fallout could have serious implications.
We also have to acknowledge that this is going to go into the thought process of anybody wanting to run for office.
The charge has come 8 months after former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were killed in their home, and State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot and wounded. Laura Oakes, News Talk 830 WCCO.
St. Paul City leaders make another run at funding to upgrade downtown's convention and arena complex.
The city's premier entertainment district is set for a major facelift after Mayor Kaohly Her and the Minnesota Wild finalized a plan to overhaul the Grand Casino Arena, River Center, and Roy Wilkins Auditorium. The mayor says by utilizing a mix of team contributions and existing tax extensions, the partnership aims to modernize aging infrastructure without triggering a property tax hike for residents.
From an investment perspective, upgrading the city-owned property sends a clear signal that St. Paul is open for business and ready for partnerships.
Local leaders are now shifting their focus toward the state legislature to secure the final round of funding needed to bring the project to life. In downtown St. Paul, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830. WCCO.
Is that Taylor's car? Is that what that was? She's just pulling away?
Took the Harley to
Yeah, I like
St.
it.
Paul
I like it.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen when you're doing those reports.
No, it's news. I mean, this is the news. It's real news. We're not sanitizing it here on CCO Radio.
I'm just happy she stuck with it, and usually I end up just cutting it a little
two?
short. Take
Maybe
two.
you do a take two?
Letting it
No.
fly a little bit. We'll see.
No, there's a lot of activity going on in St. Paul.
Yeah, it's a
these
busy
days.
day.
Yeah.
4:06 traffic and weather next.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Well, a crash literally just cleared away West 94 near Highway 280, and traffic loosened out rather quickly. Moving fairly decent through the area now, but you will find a slowdown up ahead Riverside into the Lowry Hill Tunnel. 35W northbound, not too bad. Highway 36 heading up toward Highway 10. You will find some slowdowns on 280 northbound as you head toward 35W. 494 eastbound, got your slowdowns between 100 and Lindale. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys seeking justice for the injured. You can find them at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
A big, bright moon tonight with a partly cloudy sky, falling back to 35, which, by the way, is our average high this time of year. We soar above it tomorrow. Mostly sunny with a high of 55, mostly cloudy Thursday with a high near 54.
All right, thank you, Chris. Right now, 52 sunny. News Talk 830 WCCO.
The best place for open discussion and debate.
Discussion and debate? Sign me up.
News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, I've been obsessed with this afternoon. It wasn't what I was planning on talking about, but because I keep telling everyone at work this, we're talking about it. I'm in the car today, listening to what we used to call the oldies station. Like, I don't know what we call Cool 108 now, but that's what I was listening to. And I'm just going about my morning on my way to lunch to see my friend John, going to Mothership Pizza Paradise. And I hear this. Yeah. You're like, what's going on here? You're wondering, where are we going? What is this song? I don't know. Is this an oldie? Is Britney Spears' Baby One More Time now an oldie? Is it time for me to check myself into the home? Is that, I'm like, how, we all hit this point in life where you're like, how is that on the oldies station? What is Britney Spears an oldie? 651-461-9226. Or what is the song for you that you heard where you're like, oh no, I am old. I am old. Hearing Hit Me Baby One More Time. It shouldn't. I'm troubled. You can tell, like, it's just thrown off my whole day. It's like freaking Lee Volsvik in Cool 108 just today pronounced me deceased. They're like, here, your day was going great, DeRUSH, but you know what? The music of your youth is an oldie. It just, so I started doing some math, Dan. That's what, and you know, if
that always gets you in trouble.
Well, you know, if I'm doing math, that just shows like how flummoxed I am about the whole situation. So Britney Spears and her seminal hit, Baby One More Time, which, by the way, problematic in many different ways, right? Schoolgirl, get up, the whole bit. But 1999 was when the album came out. This particular song came out in October of 1998. October of 1998 is 27 and a half years ago, which a song that is 27 or 28 years ago, that would be similar to me being a 10-year-old in the back seat of my parents' station wagon, listening to the oldie station in Chicago, which was Magic 104, I think that was the name of the oldie station. Dick Biondi was the DJ on the oldie station because this is what I listened to growing up. My parents had on oldies. And you know what the equivalent would have been? 10-year-old Jason, if you go back 28 years, I would have been listening to Elvis Presley and the hits of 1957. So, like, in my mind, the oldies station should still be playing the hits of 1957. I don't like it one bit. Jeff is in Sauk Rapids. Jeff, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm very troubled by this.
Don't be troubled. You're not old. You're young. Oldies should come from strictly the 50s, 60s, and a little bit into the 70s. But that's it.
That's what I think. Now, maybe Cool 108 is not an oldies station anymore, and I haven't moved with the time. I don't know.
They just don't go back far enough. But that was classic rock and roll during that era. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I was growing up and had a driver's license and stuff like that at the time.
What was, like, of that era, 50s, 60s, like, what is the song that you hear it and you're like, all right, like, that takes me back?
Crimson and Clover by Tommy James and the Shondells.
See, now that's an oldie. That would be appropriate. Britney Spears, come on.
And you gotta listen to the long version where they reverberate the music.
Oh, all right.
Did you ever know anybody that put a reverberator in their car?
No.
Oh God, they were popular. Everybody was doing it.
A car with built-in reverb. That's kind of cool, like giving you that, because at that time you only had AM radio. AM was play. Man, think of what this show would sound like with a little reverb in the car, huh?
Oh yeah. And we did have some FM, but the reverb was always it was always an add-on. You had to put it in yourself.
Yeah. Nice.
Right alongside your 8-track cassette player.
My parents had an 8-track player, and I remember like listening to Aquarius. They had Age of Aquarius on the.
Oh yeah.
Now that also I would accept that on the oldies station. That's allowed as well.
Well, that's borderline. It's getting fairly new, but I'll take it. I'll let you get by with it.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Texters are saying that Jeff's an oldie. Sounds like the caller is oldie. Texter Jason, I heard Metallica's Enter Sandman on Cool 108. It ruined my week.
Yep.
Yes. Texter saying Britney is 44. Well, that's fine. Like, that doesn't bother me knowing that Britney's 44. I'm 51. Like, yes, she aged. Like, that's fine. I guess I just...
but the music is sort of a time capsule.
It felt like an attack. Yeah, like I was personally being attacked. You had similar...
Well, so there's a couple of things I'll mention. Yeah, one of them is the first time I heard Pearl Jam on a classic rock station. And that sort of hit me for a wallop. Another person pointed out Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? The first Indiana Jones movie.
Okay.
Came out in 1981. I'm sorry, came out in 1981. It was set in 1936. If that same movie came out today and you went back the same number of years, it would be set in 1981.
Whoa. Weird, right?
It just makes you feel very, very old. Because, of course, World War II is ancient history to Gen X. That's, we don't have any direct connection to that. But that's the time difference.
So interesting. It's so interesting. People are telling me the formats have changed. Like KQ was classic rock. Now it's 90s and 2000s, which is the sort of the new classic rock. Yeah, I suppose like the oldies stations, like if you're playing the music of the 80s and 90s, that is the same as us growing up and playing the 50s and 60s. I don't know, man. Like, I just think our music is forever. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be in a format that makes me think of oldies. The oldie station follow the money, says a texter. Empty nesters who now have money because their kids out of the way are appealing to them. Yeah, this is my life. I guess this is.
They're targeting you.
Texter, now I know how my mom feels. When I was in 7th grade, I'm now 50, I went home and told my mom we were studying music history. She asked me about the music we were studying, and I told her the Beatles. And she said, that's not music history. This is how I feel today in the car, listening to Britney Spears on the oldies. All right, let's break. Everybody's saying that they rebranded as the hits of 80s and 90s, not the oldies. You know what? To me, it's the oldies. It's a cool 108 has always been the oldies. You cannot rebrand. You got to change it from cool to uncool or something. I don't know. It's not going to work for me. We're going to break in a minute. I want to talk about Angie Craig. Angie Craig wrote an op-ed today saying she was wrong when she voted for the Laken Riley bill. Do you buy it? Do you buy the apology? And should we give space for politicians to say, like, you know what, I didn't get it right? 651-461-9226. As we go to break, a texter gives us the comfort of knowing that someday our kids will grow up and hear Sabrina Carpenter in the grocery store. That espresso playing in the coffee aisle is how that's going to be. Drive Time back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know, my friends at the Minnesota Pork Board asked me if I could maybe write a little song, a song celebrating pork, maybe to the tunes of Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time. And I said, I don't know about that. And they're like, but Jason, imagine if you did like, oh, baby, baby. And then like talk about high protein family farmers. And I said, you know what? Let's leave the ad ideas to me, Pam. Okay, I got this. It's Jason for your friends at Minnesota Pork. 3,000 family farmers every quarter of the state. And oh, baby, baby, it is delicious. There's no question about that. I want you to taste what pork can do. Put flavor on the table is the idea, and it's embracing the fact that pork is so versatile. Whether you're using ground pork, pork tenderloins, pork chops, maybe it's just bacon, either way, you have so many options to add delicious on the daily. You want to use the oven to bake? You want to use the air fryer tonight? Honestly, I'd crack open the grill. This week, the weather is so dang nice. Why not? Look for inspiration at the website, tastewhatporkcando.com. But go to your grocery store, go to your butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork. Oh, baby, baby, for dinner tonight.
One 877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer, too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So, call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com, all one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey girl, what's your name? The way your body moves, babe.
Is there room in politics today to apologize, to say you took a vote, you did a thing, and you regret it? I believe there is, and we do need to make room for people to apologize. But when apologies come in the middle of a campaign, it's kind of tough to buy it, isn't it? On the DFL side, Angie Craig and Peggy Flanagan are engaged in sort of a knockdown, drag-out fight for the DFL nomination for U.S. Senate. For obvious reasons. I mean, there's no question that Michelle Tafoya is going to be a formidable candidate on the Republican side, but the numbers are what they are in Minnesota. And if you get the Democratic nomination, odds are pretty good you are going to become the next U.S. Senator for the state of Minnesota. And so Democrats have a choice to make. Angie Craig, I believe, is the most successful and impressive politician in the state of Minnesota. I'm not saying she should be the senator. I am saying that she has turned an absolute swing district that was coin flip, Republican or Democrat, into a solidly Angie Craig district. I'm not sure if I would say it's a solid Democratic DFL district, but Angie Craig has threaded the needle as someone who is representative of the rural parts of her district, the more suburban parts of her district. She votes Democrat almost all the time, but she's also voted in a way that I would say you could perceive as being maybe, she would say pro law enforcement and supportive of law enforcement, and some liberals would say too deferential to law enforcement. So in the Star Tribune this weekend, Angie Craig, for the first time, writes, "I regret my vote on the Laken Riley Act. These past few months," she says, "have strengthened her resolve because of what she's seen here in Minneapolis." Now, do most voters, do they care about this? No. Do most Democratic primary, DFL primary voters care about this? I think they do. And if you're a DFLer voting in this primary, 651-461-9226, I don't think you buy this, do you? She could have denounced this vote in late December when the ICE surge started and said, you know what? My intent was not to give a green light for the executive branch to do whatever they wanted. My intent was to say that I do support our law enforcement officers. And indeed, the Trump administration, they didn't use any law to do what they're doing. They didn't use the Laken Riley Act to do what it did. The Laken Riley Act got a lot of votes from Democrats. Basically, it widened the number of crimes on which ICE could detain an undocumented immigrant and hold them without bail. So if you were arrested for burglary or theft or larceny or shoplifting or assault of a cop or serious bodily injury, like a number of different crimes that would allow ICE to detain you and hold you without bail. Does that have anything directly to do with the surge of agents in Minnesota? No. But, I don't know, doesn't it strike you a little too convenient? It's too convenient. If she would have backed off in late December or early January, I would say good for you, Angie Craig. You owned up to the fact that you're trying to do one thing, and the way it's being received and the way it's potentially being used is different. And so you regret it. And I think we as voters have to give people room to say, like, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to, or my position has changed because look what the Trump administration just did. I do think it's valid to say that. But the fact that this thing came out on March 2nd? Come on. Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think you get to take a look at how your primary race looks really crappy, and now you gotta denounce it because otherwise you're going to get cooked in the primary by the left wing. Well, you knew that you were going to get cooked for this when you first declared you were running for office. You've been asked about it time and time again. And Peggy Flanagan responded in a non-surprising way, saying the first bill out of the Trump administration was the Laken Riley Act, and only one Minnesota Democrat voted to support it, and that was Angie Craig. And I do think Angie Craig has to sort of wear that. You can denounce it now, but to me, it strikes. She was even asked like as recently as like the last couple weeks. So now you're denouncing it? I don't know. To me, this wouldn't be a decider. Like, this isn't the be-all, end-all. But it's a little weaselly to me to try to back out of it at this point, Dan.
The problem I have with it is that this is another example of the far wings of parties demanding fealty from candidates, right? We saw this a few years ago. Scott Jensen's running for governor, but in order to get the nomination or the endorsement of the party, he had to bend the knee and apologize for some moderate takes that he had had over the course of his career on abortion, because the folks that run that process are, thoroughly and deeply pro-life. And then guess what happened in the general election? That got thrown back in his face, and it hurt him. And this is where our politics gets so screwed up. Most of us are in the middle, but the people that are controlling the primary and the endorsement process are the far wings of the party. And Angie's looking at the ground and saying, I'm getting flanked on my left, so I got to do something to, give a nod and a wink to those folks that I'm really on their side.
Right.
So I'm going to apologize for a vote because of context that I couldn't possibly have had when I made that vote. There's no way when she made that vote, she could have foreseen that Metro Surge was coming or what was going to happen.
I don't know. Maybe she could have.
Not to that level.
Not to that level.
There's no way. And anybody that tells you that at that point that they knew that Metro Surge was going to happen, was going to be what it was, I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And to hold people accountable for decisions that they made because of context they couldn't possibly have had at the time is just crazy town to me. And it's part of the problem with our politics.
Yeah. She was getting cooked by Democrats when she voted for it. It was perceived as Angie Craig doing what she does, which I think has made her such an effective politician, which is threading the needle of saying, I am pro-law enforcement and I am pro-freedom and pro, all these other things. And it becomes a difficult line to walk. Well, and you still can be pro-law enforcement, but this law wasn't about being pro-law enforcement. This was giving immigration authorities far wider latitude to hold people without bail than they ever had before.
But I think you're making my point when you say this is the thing that she does that makes her so good at her job.
It does make her good at her job.
And now she's got to apologize for it? What are we doing?
Well, is she apologizing? So here's the thing. She's not apologizing.
I regret my vote. I mean, we're splitting hairs after a point, aren't we?
She's saying that and her exact words are, I couldn't help but question whether I made the right call last year. I regret my vote. So,
which is her attempt at apologizing to the far left of her party.
Do you regret expanding the authority of ICE to hold people? I don't know. What it says to me, it's all about timing. If you're going to say today, March 2nd, March 3rd, that you apologize, well, you probably should have said this over the last couple months. She was interviewed on the 1st, on March 1st. And she did not, she was asked, do you stand by that vote? And she sort of dodged it. She's like, well, they're not using that act or any other law to terrorize the people of Minnesota. So, I don't know. Timing matters. I'm with you, Dan. I don't like the purity test. But I also think, like, you don't get to say, like, nope, I'm proud of that vote. I'm glad I took that vote. And then, what, you get some poll results and now you don't like the vote? Doesn't sit right with me. 4:32, let's break. DeRUSH Eats coming up in just a couple of minutes. And we're going, I mean, this is like nostalgia hour, right? If we're bringing back the oldies, we're bringing back an oldie restaurant. We'll talk about a restaurant that's coming back in an old form, and I want to know from you, what do you wish would come back? What restaurant would you bring back and why? 651-461-9226. Drive Time back in a minute on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO. Some things in life just aren't reliable. Like the check engine light that only comes on after you've broken down. The motion sensor faucet in the airport bathroom.
Come on. Why?
Like that buddy of yours who swears he'll help you move, but on the day of, trust isn't given, it's earned. And for over 100 years, when it's mattered most, Minnesotans have come here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Retirement will be here before you know it. Get ready by listening to the Retirement Reality Report with Mark Dillon and David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. Join the Linskys Saturday mornings at 11 right here on WCCO.
Get ready for patio season with By the Arts preseason sale now through March 9th. Upgrade your summer setup and score major savings. For 30 years, they've built maintenance-free furniture that lasts a lifetime, backed by a 35-year warranty and delivered direct to you. Keep in mind, By the Yard's preseason sale ends March 9th. Shop bytheyard.net or visit the showroom near you. By the Yard. Life is better outdoors.
Single-family home sales plunge. Home prices expected to fall in 2026. It's Chris Lindahl. And you're seeing headlines like this because the open market is struggling. At the same time, more people are saying yes to a guaranteed cash offer on their house. And I'm signing more big red checks than ever before. Edwin just called us and said this.
I don't want to list it, have to clean the house every day. That, to me, is just a big headache.
Be a smart seller like Edwin. Apply for your guaranteed cash offer today at chrislindahl.com.
Staples has got hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. before. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Got your slowdowns on eastbound 694, Shingle Creek Parkway, heading out over toward University Avenue. Westbound's already jammed up as you make way between Silver Lake Road and 252. Traveling east 36, getting ready for your slowdowns there, Cleveland Avenue, heading over to Lexington. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Gutman Law, wills, trust, and probate law at gutmanlaw.com. Here is Chief Warm, Hot, Smoking Hot meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Just a few clouds overnight tonight and quite mild. 35 the overnight low, which is our average high this time of year. Plenty of sunshine with a high of 55 tomorrow. Mid-50s again Thursday with more clouds. Warm enough. Our next storm system on Friday will be rain with a few thunderstorms possible late in the day.
Just crazy. Crazy. 52 and sunny in Brooklyn Park on CCO.
Jason DeRUSH.
You are worth the price of admission every single day because I have no bleeping idea what you are capable of saying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. DeRUSH. He has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRUSH Eats.
And DeRUSH Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. I miss Pizza Hut. I miss the Pizza Hut of my youth. I miss the red plastic cup filled with the one time I would be allowed to get soda. Those sort of checkerboard, plastic tablecloths. The stained glass lamps that say Pizza Hut. There was something about that personal pan pizza that you earned after a summer reading that just triggers all the nostalgia buttons. And the New York Times today has a story about Pizza Hut classics. Pizza Hut classics. And there are a bunch of them here in Minnesota. I'll talk about some of those in just a minute. But first, I want you to text or call in with the old restaurants, chains, individual locations. If you had money and you could bring one of them back, what would it be? 651-461-9226. There is something, just when I say the old Pizza Hut, can't you taste that pizza shows up on your table in that kind of that pan? Ugh. Get to scoop it out yourself. You can get sort of a riff on that pizza. Pig ate my pizza in Robbinsdale and in Bloomington. They have a pizza that they have modeled after that Pizza Hut pan pizza. But there's something about those nostalgic concepts, and all around America, there are about 60 of these retro Pizza Huts. And I just drove past one this last weekend when I was up in the Brainerd Lakes area, where I saw this old school Pizza Hut. You're like, oh, I want to go in there. Minnesota has a ton of these. We've got an old school Pizza Hut, and they call them Pizza Hut Classic. There's one in Bemidji. There's one in Blue Earth and Hastings and Litchfield, Park Rapids, Shakopee, Spring Lake Park. St. James and Wadena. I mean, that's a lot of old school. We love our nostalgia here in Minnesota, for sure. Let's go to the phones. Lots of suggestions of places we want to bring back. Becky in St. Paul, you are up first. Becky, you're on CCO. What do you want to bring back?
Well, this is really dating myself, but do you remember the Nankin?
Oh, yes. We were just talking about the Nankin this weekend with some friends.
Oh, so amazing.
Nankin started like in the, what? It was downtown in Minneapolis for 80 years or so, right?
Yes, yes. I was pregnant with my first child, and that was my go-to soul fix.
Oh.
It was amazing. When anyone came to town, that's where we went.
I love it. I love it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Becky. Thank you. I know that brings back a lot of memories for people. The Nankin Cafe, which is right now. You know what's there now? A parking ramp. What were we doing? What were you doing in the Twin Cities that was what we knocked down for City Center. How's City Center doing, Dan? I think it currently has 0 office tenants in there after Target just bought out the end of their lease. Let's go to Dave in Austin. Dave, what restaurant or restaurant idea would you bring back?
Geez, Jason, do you remember the old Country Kitchen? Their corporate office, I believe, was in Bloomington, right on American Avenue, right where Mall of America is now. But, it had a great menu, 24-hour service. It had the counters where the guys would come in. Same guy, same time every day. That's where you get all the information. Had the best coffee.
Yes. Yeah, I do miss, when I grew up in suburban Chicago, so that was a little before my time when that was headquarters over in Bloomington. But I do miss that that vibe, right? Like that family restaurant sort of feel and vibe. I think that you're exactly right about that it's the diner thing, right? Like that's where the info always happens.
That's where it all happened. That was better than the internet getting that information.
It was about equally reliable, though, Dave. Like, still a lot.
It was about, yeah. No kidding. You're right.
A lot of questionable information, but pretty cool. That was a good one. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Terry is in Plymouth. Terry, you're on CCO. Bring back a restaurant concept. Terry, you there? We heard the slide rule, or the slide whistle. I think Terry? No. All right. How about Jonathan in St. Louis Park? Jonathan? I do love a slide. Hey. I love a slide whistle, but I don't think that's what Terry was really trying to get at. What would you bring back, Jonathan?
Hey, Jason, I think you'd probably remember. I can't remember the name, but it was at 64th and Penn in South Minneapolis. It was an old grocery store that the owner and founder had converted to just a wonderful restaurant, neighborhood restaurant.
Was that,
I believe it's now, I believe it might be the book club right now or something like that.
Yes. Oh.
But the prior concept, the founder used to travel around the world with his chef.
Yes.
And they used to get different recipes. And I used to sit at that bar.
Yes.
And they had small plates there. It was packed every night.
Was it Cafe Maud?
Oh. Yes.
Yes.
Cafe Maud.
Cafe Maud was one of the first places that I remember like going to a neighborhood type restaurant where they had like just killer cocktails. Like really good. And just, that was a good one. Cafe Maud.
It was.
You're exactly right though. It was the book club. Yeah, I missed that. I missed that one too. Thanks, Terry.
All right.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Terry's back on the line. Terry, we lost you, but you're back. What restaurant would you bring back?
All the way, Shakey's Pizza.
Oh,
the Banjos,
yes.
the Mojo Spuds, Laurel and Hardy, the Banjos. You got it. As a kid, we could get up and watch them make the pizza.
Shakey's. Shakey's is a classic. Is there still one Shakey's around, or am I making that up? I feel like there's still one left.
Well, you know what? They're out in the West Coast, last I had heard. I was in Seattle and I found out there was Shakey's out there and happened to go to it. And it was outstanding.
So
but
good.
it was in a strip center. It wasn't as authentic as when I grew up when they had their building on their own. But
Right.
I went in there and like, yeah, I've heard of people like you. I've heard it a million times.
Oh, that's pretty good. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Let's go to, how about Paul in St. Paul? Lots of good ones you guys are coming up with. Restaurants you would bring back. Paul, what would you like to see back?
Okay, I would like to see this restaurant. They used to have a sign on the door. It said, no shirt ski, no shoe ski, no schlotsky. And they sold these round sourdough sandwiches that were just awesome.
What was that? That was Schlotsky's Deli, right?
Yes.
Yes. No. I remember that. I do remember that sign. That's very good. No shoe ski, no shirt ski, no Schlotsky. Very good. That's a good one. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Brian and Rogers. Brian, what would you like to bring back? Let's hear it.
I got a couple of them, Jason.
Okay.
The Jolly Troll and the Anchor Inn.
Ooh, where was the Jolly Troll?
I believe it was St. Louis Park.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't too far from the Anchor Inn. I believe it was right down on 394.
That's right. Kind of Golden Valley, St. Louis Park, right in that area.
Yeah.
It was sort of like an all you can eat kind of buffet situation, right?
Yeah, it was a buffet, yeah.
Yeah. The Jolly Troll. The St. Louis Park Historical Society says the Jolly Troll Smorgasbord was it was the original Twin Cities buffet, but it was knocked down. What'd they turn it into now? Oh, it's the Metropolitan. It's that event center in St. Louis Park, Golden Valley, right there. Yeah, and the Anchor Inn. That used to be a pretty hot part of town, wasn't it? Like
I think the Anchor Inn actually was it's where Bunny's is now on Excelsior.
Ah, nice. Brian, very good.
That was another all-you-could-eat seafood.
Yes. I do think people would dig that again today. I think that concept could come back for sure. Thanks, Brian. Let's break. Linda, stay on the line. Lots of text too. Pizza Hut, kind of the classic Pizza Hut, is being celebrated all around the country. What classic do you want to bring back? 651-461-9226. DeRUSH Eats continues here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
It is Jason here with an invitation to you. Spring is right around the corner. Man, it feels like it outside right now, doesn't it? So why wait? Why wait to get active, to change your life, to feel better? Livia is ready for you today. You can start right now and lose 10 pounds or more. Yeah. You know that Livia helped change my life. I lost 45 pounds with the help of the team at Livia Weight Control Centers in Coon Rapids, but I've kept that weight off with the help of the team at Livia, and that to me is the difference maker. Your weight loss journey, you don't want it to be one size fits all. You deserve personalized one-on-one care, and that's what you get at Livia. You can do it in clinic. I actually did a telehealth visit the other day, which was pretty cool. So whether you're looking to jumpstart your weight loss or reset your health, that's what a lot of people do as the weather changes to the spring. What Livia brings to the table is this combined medical expertise, nutrition coaching that has helped tens of thousands of people lose weight and keep it off, and real accountability. I needed the accountability. I needed the Livia team to be like, come on, Jason, keep it going. How about a deal? You'd like a deal? I got it. Right now, you can take $50 off GLP-1 medical weight loss program, or you can get started with Livia's award-winning nutrition program. That starts at just $17 a week. It's guided by registered dietitians and nutritionists, same people who helped me achieve my success. It's real support, real results, and it's your real life. Let's do this. Visit Livia.com or make the call 855-GO-LIVIA today.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training at Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods between games. Sink your toes into white sand. Discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife. And dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love for baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
Italian subs for your finance team at Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. Easy Cater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. Easy Cater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Did word of a crash, 35W northbound area of County Road D. Use caution if you're headed that way. If you're traveling into St. Paul, not too bad of a ride as you travel East 94. More of a slowdown and make way between Marion and Mounds. And after that, clean shot into Woodbury. 494 eastbound got you slowdowns there. East Bush Lake Road, 235W. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters presents Guys and Dolls, a high-rolling musical spectacle packed with iconic songs and dazzling dance numbers. Don't miss this Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Guys and Dolls. Tickets at chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Always entertaining you. Tonight, 35 is the low, and then tomorrow and Thursday, we're in the mid-50s. Friday, rain possible. It is spring. Fake second spring. Right now, it's 52 on the CCO.
Jason DeRUSH.
I have never really been a fan of his, but the truth of the matter is the guy really does care. My opinion has completely changed about the guy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
So many restaurants you guys are missing from our video stream on social media. King and I Restaurant, says Michael. Pizza Hut Buffet. Vesio's in Dinkytown, says Andrew. OCB, the Old Country Buffet. Table of Contents. Eddie Webster's in Bloomington. Let's go to Brad and Scandia. Brad, what restaurant would you bring back?
I bring back the Lincoln Dell.
Oh, a classic. I think the Lincoln Dell would do well if that came back, don't you think?
I think so. I think it do. They had the absolute greatest pumpernickel bread, I'll tell you, and I can't find it.
Right.
I could only find that at a grocery store chain in Rochester, New York, in the Jewish neighborhood of Irondequoit. They had that at Star Markets.
Bring it back.
And I've been looking all over.
Thanks, Brad. Let's go to Janet in Eagan. Janet, you're on CCO. What would you bring back?
Cafe de Napoli.
Oh, yes. Cafe de Napoli. My goodness. That was right in downtown Minneapolis, right?
That's right.
I remember those meatballs. So good.
Oh, baked.
Oh, very good.
Oh, what is it? It took forever to make. Baked mostaccioli.
Oh, the mostaccioli. The mostaccioli, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good
one.
Manicotti.
It was manicotti.
Oh, all right. All right. Excellent. Thanks, Janet. Linda, you're in Bloomington. What would you bring back?
Well, for a special occasion, and this was a long time ago, it was called the Flame Room.
I don't know the Flame Room.
And it had violins, and it was a local celebrity, and I can't think of his name, and it was just a wonderful place. It was in the Radisson.
In the Radisson, the Flame Room. I like
That's
a great name for a restaurant.
It was, and they had great violinists, and the man, Yeah, he was a really great local celebrity, and I just can't think
All
of
right,
his name. But that's
somebody will think about it and text in at 651-461-9226. Thanks, Linda. Dan in St. Paul, what would you bring back, Dan?
I would bring back the Sandies on Lexington and the Red Barn. There was 2 of them on Snelling Avenue in St. Paul.
Red Barn. Excellent. Very good. Thanks, Dan. Greg in Hutchinson, what would you bring back?
The Spinnaker on Highway 7, early, or it was the late 70s. We used to go there as young broke kids just to get the prime rib dinners, or prime rib. And I think it turned into a Famous Dave's last I knew. And it was great. The last time we were there, after about 4 or 5 visits, all of a sudden the staff left. We were done eating. The staff left. People were poking around trying to find out if there was anybody left in there.
Yeah.
And we just started walking out. They just closed.
That was it.
Up.
They just closed her down. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, they just closed her down. So
that is amazing. Thanks, Greg.
It was a great place.
My mother-in-law texted in that she was at Nankin with some friends when she went into labor with my sister-in-law. Does that make you want to go back? Want to bring it back or not? I think it's a mostly fond memory. Very good. Thank you guys so much. So many. You guys loved that one. That was great. So many texts and calls. Thank you so much. Drive Time continues. DeRUSH Hour News headlines next.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Proud to be the voice of the Twin Cities, Minnesota, and the Upper Midwest. This is News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. 4 days into the U.S.-Israeli-led war with Iran, what could be major developments? First, CBS's Matt Gutman reports from Tel Aviv that a number of Gulf states are reconsidering their neutrality after being on the receiving end of Iran strikes.
The Gulf states, including Kuwait, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, they've received 1,000 of those bus-sized missiles. And now we're seeing that they might have to enter the fight. Just a few minutes ago, we got word from the UAE that they reserve the right to self-defense. That could mean that they could send their own warplanes to fight Iran, to join Israel and the United States.
And Secretary of State Marco Rubio warns that the strikes are escalating.
We're going to unleash Chang on these people in the next few hours and days. You're going to really begin to perceive a change in the scope and in the intensity of these attacks as, frankly, the two most powerful air forces in the world take apart this terroristic regime and defang it and take away its ability to threaten its neighbors.
Secretary Rubio has again briefed lawmakers on Capitol Hill about the war with Iran. Democratic Senator Cory Booker saying of the strikes,
all of this is happening in the context of a president that continues to thrash the Constitution and not come to Congress for any kind of authorization for these.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says he will appear before the House Oversight Committee, which is investigating ties to late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The chairman of the committee says Secretary Lutnick will appear voluntarily for a transcribed interview. Representative James Comer said, I commend his demonstrated commitment to transparency and appreciate his willingness to engage with the committee.
The high-stakes midterm elections are underway, and a lot of eyes are on the Texas Senate primary. On the Democratic side, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett faces State Representative James Tellerico. Rice University political science professor Mark Jones on the possibility of Democrats winning a Senate seat.
If controversial Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is the Republican nominee in November, then if you combine that with Donald Trump's low approval ratings and the Democrats nominating a top-tier candidate, that could be the perfect storm that leads to a Democratic victory.
CBS's Jim Krasula has a look at more criticism of highly processed foods.
In a wide-ranging study of preschoolers in Canada, researchers found that the more ultra-processed foods a child was given, the more likely they were to have behavioral and emotional symptoms by age 5. The researchers suggest that such a diet could even affect the child's long-term mental health.
Ultra-processed foods account for nearly half the energy intake among preschool-age children in Canada. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sunny and 51 at 5:03. I'm Mark Fry. A federal judge in St. Paul is threatening to hold Minnesota's U.S. attorney in contempt for failing to follow orders.
U.S. District Court Judge Jeffrey Bryant told U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen that his office needed to return all the property that was taken from people held during Operation Metro Surge by a certain date, which has since passed. Carol Evans' Lou Raguse is covering the contentious and rare hearing.
I don't know that I've ever seen the actual U.S. attorney have to come into court like this and defend himself really in any manner.
Lou telling WCCO's Chad Hartman Rosen took issue with some of the allegations.
He's frustrated, obviously. He does have a point on at least a few things because one of these pieces of property that was missing was literally a shoelace. So that one was a little bit ridiculous.
Well, that's ridiculous.
But it sounds like a lot of them are like driver's licenses or work authorization papers.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota Senior U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar this morning grilling Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem about the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents during Operation Metro Surge.
But how about specifically calling them domestic terrorists without any evidence of that?
Sir, ma'am, I did not call him a domestic terrorist. I said it appeared to be an incident of.
I think the parents saw it for what it was.
The testimony came in Washington at the Senate Judiciary Committee's oversight hearing on the Department of Homeland Security. Noem did tell Klobuchar that there are still close to 650 federal agents still in Minnesota. A mixed martial arts fighter from Minnesota was among 3 killed in a mass shooting early Sunday that also left over a dozen wounded outside a crowded Texas bar. Police identified 30-year-old George Peterson as one of the victims. He was from rural Glenwood. According to his LinkedIn profile, Andy Grand worked with Peterson.
We do really difficult, scary things, and so the laughter that he brought to practice was it made things a lot, something to look forward to. It made things a lot lighter.
And the Boys State High School Hockey Tournament starts tomorrow. The city of St. Paul's expecting a big economic impact.
Whether you're a hockey fan or not, this is the tournament to be at. Ava Diaz with Visit St. Paul.
It's just so cool to see the city come alive, and there's people
from across the state coming to represent their cities and have that like hometown pride is really like energizing.
With about 120,000 spectators expected throughout the 4 days, the economic boost the entire city receives is huge.
Whether it's hotel stays from people coming in town to our like kind of local drive markets, or dining in pre or post game, shopping retail, maybe visiting a museum or two, it really does have an impact on kind of our local vendors here.
In St. Paul, Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
It's 5:06, traffic and weather next.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns West 694 as you come in from Silver Lake Road to Highway 252. North 169, get ready for slow stop past 109th Ave. As you head up into Champlin, then you run into some stoplight congestion. 10 westbound's jammed up, 694 over to 35W. West 94 into Minneapolis slows as you make way past Highway 280 into downtown. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
How would you like to solve your water issues at your house? You can with Aquarius because they're an independent Connecticut dealer. The best water you can get. Systems available, $9.95 per month for the first 3 months. I use it every day. AquariusHomeservices.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Aquarius Home Services, earning the right to be recommended. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A big, bright moon tonight with a partly cloudy sky falling back to 35, which, by the way, is our average high this time of year. We soar above it tomorrow. Mostly sunny with a high of 55, mostly cloudy Thursday with a high near 54.
All right, thank you, Chris. Sunny and 51 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Headlines and stories that inform. Conversations and viewpoints that captivate. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Oh, it's good to have Dan Cook back with us after 2 weeks in Florida. I mean, you were with us the first week,
but I sure wasn't the second week.
It was. We had some great people filling in for you, but, you know, I mean, it's not the same. Now shut up and drive. Like, nobody does that, right? Nobody does that. Like, how are you going to put that in the note?
Yeah, can't really do it.
You got to wait. Can't really do it. No, nobody really cares. Texters are asking for a quick Dan Cook Space Nerd update because this morning we were supposed to have a chance to see the blood moon.
So here's the thing. Okay. I thought about, it's going to be peaking at about just after 5 a.m. this morning.
Right.
And after, working the morning show last week, getting up at that time, my body was sort of used to it.
Sure.
I considered that. And then I thought, you know what? It's my first day back on the Jason DeRUSH experience in the afternoon. I want to be focused. I want to be rested. I want to be ready.
Okay.
And so I decided to be a grown-up and not, bow to my base needs to do my hobby, and said, no, I'm going to focus on work, and I'm going to sleep. And I saw the blood moon last year. It'll be okay. I'll be just fine. That was my sacrifice for you and this show, Jason.
Well, the other thing is that the forecast was for a very cloudy
morning. That's out there that, there's going to be cloudy and we couldn't see it anyway. But that really wasn't what motivated me.
No, it was
I was laser focused.
Full dedication.
On this show.
Wow.
And that's just how
Boy, it's paid off, too. What a program. What a program it's been. There was a time in my life that, I would have awoken the kids.
Yeah.
But now the kids are off at college. You think those kids are waking up?
No, zero chance. Zero chance. It is legitimately cool when you can see the moon go dark and then turn red and then go dark again and come back and be bright white light. It's a pretty cool phenomenon. You got to have a lot of time. The peak of the blood moon portion was almost a full hour.
Well, you don't have to have that much time. You wake up, you put on a pot of coffee.
Well, but I'm saying if you want to watch the whole
thing.
The whole thing.
Well, it's kind of boring, isn't it, at a certain point?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how interested you are. I might have run a time lapse on last year's and been out there for the better part of 3-4 hours filming the thing. Sure.
Yeah. My kids are gone, and now I have no one to wake up. I hope my kids torture their own kids. You know what I mean? Like my dad used to drag us outside to see the eclipse or see a constellation or see whatever. And I did that to my kids. And I hope they do it to theirs.
I believe you can virtually guarantee that will happen.
They're going to be a little ashamed of themselves for doing it.
They're also going to enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to suffer. Now so do you.
That is the theme of parenting, really. You're just evening the score. You're evening the score. It's good to have you back, though. DeRUSH Hour News headlines. Let's do the lead.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
If you thought that Kristi Noem testifying in front of senators today was going to take the opportunity to do the logical thing and say, you know what? Wish I didn't characterize 2 Minnesota residents who were killed at the hands of federal agents who report to me. I wish I didn't call them domestic terrorists. I had bad information that the video didn't support. I was frustrated at the way ICE agents were being treated, and I went too far. Instead, Kristi Noem said this.
Ma'am, I did not call him a domestic terrorist. I said it appeared to be an incident of.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it appeared to be an incident of domestic terrorism. I didn't actually say they were domestic terrorists, but, I mean, she came pretty close to saying they're domestic terrorists. She did. What are you going to do? The testimony today was quite interesting in that Republicans were letting Kristi Noem have it, not just Democrats. Most of these congressional hearings are a dog and pony show for one party to try to get sound bites that they can then repurpose on social media, making their opponents look stupid. Here, it was Democrats and Republicans making Kristi Noem look stupid. Or maybe it was just Kristi Noem making herself look stupid. It was nice to see senators looking for real answers instead of just showboating. But as I said in our first hour, if I were President Trump, I would fire Kristi Noem, and I would do it tonight. She has let down the family, is how I look at it. She's let down the Trump administration. She has chose the wrong strategy. She could have chose the Tom Homan approach of really being strategic, targeted, and going into areas where you knew ICE agents were going to be welcomed by the community. And instead, she chose conflict, chaos, and the surge here in Minneapolis. Next, news from Target that, I don't know, it's neither good nor bad, but they're in a world of hurt right now.
God, I hope someone walks up soon so I can say, welcome to Target. I just want to say, welcome to Target. I just want to say, welcome to Target to somebody. Welcome to Target!
Target today reported a decline in the holiday quarter, a 2.5% decline. Today, as they shared some of their sales information, another sales decline for Target. It was sort of expected that same-store November to January period, 2.5% decline in same-store sales. Quarterly profits down more than 5%. There is a new CEO, Michael Fidelke. He has said the Target's going to spend more than $2 billion this year, really leaning into the home department and expanding their groceries, trying to change things. It is a difficult space to be if you are Target right now, when your brand was made on sort of a higher end kind of still budget price, high style, that sort of thing. But is that where people are at right now? Hard to say. We'll see. I'm still a loyal Target shopper. I know people have made different decisions. But the stock market seems pretty happy with the plan to turn things around as they really look at groceries as the first way to win back people. State grant money, once again, under the microscope. There has been no letting up by the media in looking into fraud in Minnesota. In the latest excellent report from Channel 5 and their investigative team looking at Minnesota Promise grants.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, they looked at these grants that were millions of dollars in grants to small businesses, and they found more than 300 recipients listed as individuals. Now, the state says they qualify as sole proprietors, but many of them work in transportation. And so Channel 5 trying to figure out, like, all right, they found some housing stabilization companies in the list. And just trying to figure out, like, all right, like, are these real companies? Are they just fleecing the taxpayer? And there is a lot of evidence that there are not very strict safeguards and oversight. This is a nearly $100 million program. The DFL senator who wrote the bill, launched the program in 2023, Senator Bobby Joe Champion, said that, he's conducted site visits himself. His staff has done it. Interesting story. We're checking out at KSTP. And from the Are You Serious file, some hit it. Hit that gavel. Hit it. Some Republican lawmakers are introducing impeachment articles against the governor, Tim Walz, and the Attorney General, Keith Ellison. I will say that this idea that when we want to embarrass our political opponents, we impeach them, I find it disgusting. I find it an incredible abuse of what impeachment is supposed to be about. And I think too many people love this stuff, where you're like, you got to fire him. You got to impeach him. Can we recall him? They're corrupt. Give me a break. There's going to be an election in November. And you're wasting time right now with a circus of impeachment. One author of the resolution is Representative, is it Mike Weiner or Weiner? I'm going to go with Weiner. Come on. Accusing the governor of violating his constitution. Let voters decide. Just knock it off. Absolutely ridiculous. That's the DeRUSH Hour News. I've been no supporter. But this idea that we have to just destroy people. Go win an election. How about win an election for once? Try that. Let's break. In a minute, speed cameras. Oh, I was a little hesitant about those speed cameras because I don't think it's a fair fight. I want it to be a fair fight. Well, guess what? They work. We'll talk about that next.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chris Lindahl wants to make your home selling process so much easier. It's Jason here for my buddy Chris, the Arms Out Real Estate Company. You know the Lindahl. You know how to do the Lindahl. You've seen the billboards, but what you may not know is that the guaranteed cash offer and those big red checks that Chris has been delivering all over the Twin Cities, the guaranteed cash offer may be right for you. Now, when I first met Chris and he was telling me about who takes advantage of the guaranteed cash offer, often it was people who came into a house that they needed to unload. So maybe you had a family change or a job change or maybe a relocation or you inherited some. You have some reason where you're like, I can't handle the payment. I got to cash out. Let's just be done with it. But something interesting happened over the last year. More and more people were signing up to get a guaranteed cash offer that were not in any sort of massive hurry. They just didn't want to deal with the uncertainty. They didn't want to deal with the real estate market. They didn't want to deal with picky buyers or buyers that flake out at the last minute or home inspectors who say, no, you got to fix this, and then the whole thing goes away. Or you get to the finish line, and then the buyer loses their job, and then you're hosed. More and more people are saying, Chris, just write me the big red check and be done with it. Find out if it makes sense for you. ChrisLindahl.com. Go to the website. Even if you're not thinking about selling immediately, there's a free smart seller guide that'll get you thinking in the right direction. ChrisLindahl.com.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH Hour News headlines going in depth now on this question about speeding and cameras and a pilot project by the city of Minneapolis showing good results. Well, good results if you want people to drive slower. Ethan Fawley is the coordinator of the Minneapolis Vision Zero program. He's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. Ethan, first couple of months of cameras, what's your verdict on how it's working out so far?
Well, yeah, so far we've seen a decrease of more than 50% in people going 10 or more miles an hour over speed limit at camera locations. So that's a good start, certainly, and an encouraging news. And I think based on what we see in other cities, we would expect that to continue to go down further and make it safer out there for everyone.
When you look at, the improvement, and this is a 3-month window that you guys have looked at, but the report that you will present the city council will show that more than 13,000 people, fewer people, were speeding at these 5 locations. That is a significant reduction. Just the threat of having a camera there, is that is enough to get people to really slow down?
Well, definitely. I think it's coupled with, we have the sign out there saying, hey, there's going to be a camera,
right,
and reminding people of the speed limit, but then you start to get the warning. And then maybe you get a citation, and then you realize, oh, okay, I should slow down because I don't want to get a $40 citation every day. And what we see is we don't want that. We hope that people just slow down when they see that sign. But having that last push is helpful, and it makes it safer for everyone out there.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing, and obviously we have a long history in this state with trying to flirt with traffic control, speed control cameras, the constitutionality of this. The legislature allowed this pilot program. And I think the skeptics out there are like, this is just a cash grab. We've seen this in other municipalities in other states. It's a cash grab. At this point, at least the way it's set up in Minnesota, that's most certainly is not a cash grab, right?
Definitely. I mean, our focus has always been on improving traffic safety, and we've seen that speed safety cameras in every other state around the country that have these have been found to to reduce crashes, reduce speeding, reduce injuries, and reduce deaths. And so we wanted to try it here and make sure that we designed the system to address some of the concerns that we've heard from folks. And certainly that cash drag concern has been a one that we've heard a lot about. So the program is set up. It's the only program in the country where everyone gets a warning before you get a citation. It's got the lowest fines that come with any traffic safety camera programs in the country, $40 base fine or $80 if you're going 20 or more over the speed limit. And those are things, because our focus here is if you slow down because you got that warning, great. That's what we want. We're not trying to generate citation revenue. We're just trying to improve safety by having folks drive safer speeds.
I mean, when you look at the number of warnings, 29,500 warnings, 4,300 tickets, but you think, all right, if 30,000 people are told, like, hey, man, like, you're going to get a $40 fine the next time you do this, for most of us, $40 is like, it's not nothing, right? And it is a reminder that, I don't know, I also think that people are inherently rule followers when they believe there's a chance they're going to get caught. So it's a little bit of like altruism, a little bit of self-preservation that you're trying to prevent from getting busted. But that's enough. And that you think, man, 30,000, 33,000 fewer people speeding potentially. That's saving. That's not just slowing people down. That's potentially saving lives.
Definitely. I mean, we know that speeding is the number one safety challenge we have in Minneapolis. It's the number one reason that we have fatal crashes. It's the number one reason we have severe injury crashes as well. And so just slowing down folks just a little bit. And remember, this is for, you get a warning or a citation if you're going 10 or more of the speed limit.
10 or more, yeah.
I got lost a little bit. You're going like 40% over the speed limit of what the speed limit is, because these are all 25-mile-an-hour streets. And so
right.
This isn't a gotcha in any way, but it really is addressing that core safety challenge. And the reality, right, is that most people are not going 10 or more miles an hour over the speed limit. This is really addressing and reminding folks that just the few folks that need that extra reminder to slow down and make it safer for everyone.
Ethan Fawley is the coordinator of the Minneapolis Vision Zero program. Okay, so if it's this effective, why not put these at every sort of commercial intersection?
So we are looking to add additional camera locations this year. So we will be, as early as May, coming out with some additional speed safety camera locations. I would anticipate about 5. We'll have more information coming out, and all these locations will not be a secret. We'll be putting them out publicly. We'll be putting out signs ahead of time, letting people know that they'll be coming out. And then people will get warnings first at those locations as well, to give every chance for folks to slow down and make it safer out there. And then we have identified 11 high priority locations to add. These are spread across the city, and we are looking hopefully to be able to add all those 11 this year. We're still working through some final details on that. And then, this is still part of a pilot program. So we've had good initial results here in the first few months of the program, but we're going to continue to evaluate this, and that will inform whether, future expansion beyond this year, and then ultimately back at the legislature, providing information, and there'll be an independent evaluation beyond what the city is doing on the effectiveness of the pilot here in Minneapolis, and then the other pilots around the state as well, to determine whether the legislature wants to grant authority beyond the pilot period. So right now we're really focused on the pilot, which does run for a few more years here in Minneapolis.
Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool. Ethan, we appreciate it. Thanks for spending some time with us here on CCO.
Thanks for covering it, and we appreciate everyone slowing down and being safer for everyone.
No doubt. Ethan Fawley with the city of Minneapolis. Drive Time with DeRUSH back in just a minute here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lendseek.
NVIDIA and Meta Platforms unveiled an AI infrastructure partnership in which the Facebook and Instagram parent is going to use NVIDIA's data center processors, including NVIDIA's new Grace semiconductors. Meta has also adopted NVIDIA's confidential computing to enhance AI privacy features in WhatsApp. Meta plans to spend up to $135 billion on AI data centers this year. I'm Jason Brooks.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow, invoices were late, and payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lendseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at LENDSEEK.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
Staples has got hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for East 694, Shingle Creek Parkway, heading out towards Central Avenue. If you could reach out on West 94, not too bad. As you make way out of St. Paul, big slowdowns up ahead, though, once you get past Riverside into the tunnel. Eastbound 394, watching slowdowns there as you come in from Highway 100 to I-94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Pork chops, tenderloin, bacon. Oh, yeah, it's full of flavor and high in protein. Taste what Minnesota pork can do for you. 3,000 family farmers want you to get the grocery store, the butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Minnesota Pork Board. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Just a few clouds overnight tonight and quite mild. 35 the overnight low, which is our average high this time of year. Plenty of sunshine with a high of 55 tomorrow. Mid-50s again Thursday with more clouds. Warm enough. Our next storm system on Friday will be rain with a few thunderstorms possible late in the day.
Right now in St. Paul, Minnesota, it's 51 and sunny on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I got to sit through this schlock. And if I were a nice guy, I would say that it's dull and uninspired.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I have had enough. Enough is enough. Enough.
Oh, a special Tuesday edition of Enough. 651-461-9226. Petty grievances, we're here for them. Things that annoy you, that you just can't take it anymore. Now's the time to call in or text in at 651-461-9226. Dan Cook, back with us after some time in Florida.
Some extended time in Florida. Because you got time in Florida.
Yeah.
And then I got to stay in Florida for another week.
2 weeks. for you.
Yeah.
And have you had enough?
Oh, let me tell you about the
of
enough
Florida?
I have.
Yeah.
Not enough of Florida. Florida was lovely.
Okay.
I don't know that I'd want to live there, but it's nice to visit in a couple of weeks. Margaritaville was fantastic.
Yep.
Great place to stay. But I have had enough of flying without an empty middle seat in the row, because I had that on the flight back home. And I tell you what, that is a luxury that cannot be overestimated.
It's true.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm always a window seat guy. So the gal that was in my row that was going to be the aisle seat shows up, and she sits down, and we both kind of look at the empty middle seat. We both kind of look at the front of the plane to see, how many more people are coming. And she's about to say something, and I shush her. I'm like, don't jinx it. Don't say any. Oh yeah, you're right. And so slowly people are finding their seats and finding their rows, and nobody's coming for that seat, and nobody's coming for that seat. And you look up, and there's nobody else coming on the plane. And now she wants to say something again. No, don't. Until the door is closed and we've pulled away from the gate, don't say it. And she didn't. But we traveled the entire route back to Minnesota with the empty middle seat, and it was glorious. It should be mandated. Nobody sits in the middle seat. Everybody has an empty middle seat in the row. That should be part of the bit.
I mean, that is crazy talk by you. Absolutely crazy.
It's kind of this segment, isn't it?
I like it. I like it. When's the last time you've been on a flight where you get no one in your aisle? Where it's pure.
Yeah.
That is the peak of luck.
That really, really is. It's happened to me once, and I forget. I think it was like coming back from Arizona 1 year. I had that.
So on my flight on the way back from Florida, I was seated I was in the middle seat because I don't.
So you're the problem.
Well, I don't pay. Did you pay to pick a seat?
No, the company did. You think I didn't expense that? Come on.
You made them pay for
you
to pick a seat?
Yes.
Really?
Of course. I think I'm just going to get assigned randomly to a seat?
Am I doing this wrong?
Yes.
Are you sure? I don't want the company to have to pay for me to pick a seat.
Are
Who
you
cares?
kidding me?
I don't pay for my seat normally.
I mean, if you don't care, that's your business.
I mean, I would.
But to sit there and say, well, I wouldn't want to put that on the company. Now, and that's because you're the one telling me before this trip, expense everything. So don't come back now and pretend like you're the great defender of the company.
I don't expense that.
I did.
Wow. Interesting. I think you're right. I'm wrong.
I'm confident I'm right. Yes.
I'm always looking to go cheap.
You and Harrigan.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, but this isn't your cheap. You're not even paying for this. The company pays for this.
It's very interesting.
Why are you being cheap on behalf of the company?
Well, because I want them to keep sending us.
And you think the $20 to pick a seat's going to make the difference?
Well, round trip. You got to do it round trip. So.
Oh, okay, $40. Yep, that's going to sink us.
No, I'm conceding that you're probably right and I'm probably wrong.
I see, but if you throw probably in there, I'm not sure you're actually conceding.
You are right. I am wrong.
Mark down that time, 5:39. Okay, Brad.
Now, what do you think about Andrew's suggestion? Andrew says if you're flying as a couple, you should book the window and the aisle seat and leave the middle seat empty because people are less likely to book a middle seat.
Andrew, I love how you're thinking. Because when I did select my seat, I found a row, because I always am picking a window seat, but this one was closer to the back of the plane than I usually sit, but I picked that row because somebody had already booked the aisle seat. And I figured if I book the window seat, maybe there's a chance somebody won't come in and book the middle seat. And that's exactly how it worked out. So simpatico, Andrew. I'm right there with you.
So if you are flying and you encounter Andrew sitting at the window and Mrs. Andrew sitting on the aisle, and then you say, excuse me, this is, to go to the middle seat. Now, Mrs. Andrew is probably going to say, hey, do you want to switch? We're together.
Sure.
Would you switch?
I would ask the person, whoever's in the window seat, I would ask for that seat.
So you would accommodate them.
Sure.
What I would do,
If it got me a window seat.
I would choose to stay in the middle seat.
Come on. You're not serious. Just to annoy them for pulling the move?
For trying to play the game and losing.
Come on.
Why should I? Maybe I like the middle seat.
Nobody likes the middle seat. That's why you do the move. Nobody likes the middle seat. You're full of it. I know for a fact you don't like the middle seat.
I will say on my way home, I was seated next to let's just say it was a gentleman who was utilizing the full space and then some. And he was super nice. We had a nice conversation.
Yeah.
It was great. But we had a little cozy. It was a little cozy. 651-461-9226.
What have you had enough of?
Jason, middle seat occupant is the best victim ever of my dad jokes because it's a captive audience. I do like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's very good. I have had enough of the nonsense. I have two things that I'm sort of irritated about. I'll do this one first. Today, the Weather Service announced that it's updating its severe storm outlooks again.
I knew you'd love this story.
I believe we have too many categories of warnings, too many alerts, and we should go back to the old days where we need a tornado warning and do we even need a severe thunderstorm warning? I guess. That's it. Now the Storm Prediction Center is adding a conditional intensity index that will predict how severe the storm. They used to rank the potential for hail, wind, and tornadoes on a 0 through 5. Fewer than 1% gave you a 5 out of 5, which I like that, right? Because you're like, okay, that's going to be big. If it's a level 5, holy moly. Well, now we're going to have intensity level 1, intensity level 2. I don't want to learn any more of your damn warnings. I don't want to do it. I don't want to learn it. I don't want to communicate it to you on this show. I don't want to tell you that Honest Exteriors brought you the conditional intensity index scale of a 1 to 3. I don't want to. I've had enough. Let's go to the phones. Scott is in Minneapolis. Scott, what have you had enough of?
All the doggy doo-doos on the boulevard.
Oh, it is. Yes. Are we seeing, is this sort of the springtime unearthing of like the hidden nuggets that were under the snow?
I believe so.
Yeah. This stuff is disgusting. And frankly, Scott, like the window for picking that stuff up is fast passing, right? Because now it was frozen. You could get a good handle on those things. You know, you take the newspaper bag and pick them up.
Yep. I tried to pick up my own yard and it's frozen or thawed out. It's impossible, but
right. That's not good. People, I do find it pretty disgusting. I find that people leave that stuff out there.
Well, the dogs like to investigate everything, you know. So it's every 2-3 feet it's stop and back up and yeah.
Is there like a neighborhood pickup, like a poop pickup that goes on, or how do we clean this stuff up?
I think it just goes in the trash and bag it up and goes in the trash.
Yeah. Scott, that's a good one. Very good. Thanks for calling. 651-461-9226. Another text says, no, we don't need any more weather warnings. People are with me. Andrew just wants the colors, like the CCO weather tower. I agree. Now, of course, no one knows what the colors mean, right? Dan, if the weather watcher is blue, what does that mean?
Colder weather ahead.
White.
Snow.
Green.
Rain.
Red.
Warmer weather ahead.
Well, you got it.
Thank you. And purple means there's a Vikings game on Sunday.
Right. Yeah. Rainbow means it's Pride weekend. Yeah. Then they get goofy with it. Then we're like, the lights are flashing. That's like red alert when it's flashing.
Yeah.
I like that because when I come into downtown Minneapolis and you see the flashing, I just figure it assumes like there's been another like buyout attempt of Paramount. So like if it's red, it means Netflix is going to buy Warner Brothers. If it's blue, it means Paramount Plus is going to buy Warner Brothers. That's what I think. If it's black, it means the engineer got laid off. If one side, that was my favorite when I'd come to work and one side would not be working and three sides would be lit up.
Uh-oh.
We used to have a Jumbotron in front of Channel 4. Do you remember that?
Is that thing like your Christmas lights? Like if one bulb goes out, the whole side goes out? Is that how that works?
There used to be a Jumbotron. Like an actual operational Jumbotron, and they were playing Channel 4 on it, and I thought it was so cool, right? Because you're a TV station. It'd be cool to have like a ticker, like Fox News has in New York, or the Today Show. Like, it's cool. But you can't do that because some, like, nerd at the building, historical, this.
Gonna hack it?
You can't have that. Oh, and hackers team. No, it's mostly like the Minneapolis know-it-alls who don't want you to put a sign on a building or anything like that. So they put up this sign by the back door, the big Jumbotron, like facing the hotel across the street. But we bought like a used Jumbotron. And so there always were pixels out. It looked terrible. And so today you go by and there's just like a sheet of plywood with like a logo on it.
There you go.
Gave up.
Texter gets the show. Might be the best text of the day. They ask, what if Minnesota pork sponsored the weather intensity levels? How would you approach it then?
I mean, who cares more about your safety than 3,000 family farmers from Minnesota Pork? And they want to keep you safe from the storm as well. When you think about our pork farmers, they're really, it's like
writes itself.
Like an anchor in the storm as the winds of change are blowing around you. No, this person understands. Lots of texts coming in. Keep it coming. What have you had enough of? I have another thing that I've had enough of. And it relates to the CEO of McDonald's. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Maybe you've had enough of overpaying for home and auto insurance. It is Jason for my friends at the Canopy Group. Great, great local company. And the Canopy Group, all they do is save people money and get people better insurance coverage. That's what you want. I mean, the truth is you want insurance you can count on to be there for you. Nobody loves paying their insurance premium, but what I love is knowing that I've got a fair deal and I have great coverage. And I got that just by reaching out to Canopy Group because what they do is different. For years, I had one insurance agent. He was a good guy, one company. He didn't watch me on TV, and he always told me about it. It's like, I don't care if you don't listen to the show, for example. Actually, I do care. But, like, you don't have to tell me. Once you tell me that you don't you're on CCO Radio? Never listen to that. Well, you know what? I'm no longer writing you a check for my insurance, you bum. The Canopy Group would never. Besides, if you were worried about one person who worked there, they've got 50 people working on your behalf in 16 different insurance companies. That's the difference. Not one company, one agent. They've got 16 companies and 50 team members. So they're just looking out for you. Get better coverage, get a better price, get the Canopy Group. You can do it online, thecanopygroup.com, or you can call the 800 number, 800-967-3389.
If you've never called CCO before, please don't start now. I mean, sure, you've been yelling at your dashboard for years, maybe decades. Yes, you had a unique take on Operation Metro Surge, and okay, you did predict a lot of what's happened with the Twins. But calling? Texting? Actually joining the conversation? That sounds risky. What if we agree with you? What if you're good at this? Nah, better to stay anonymous. Safe. In the background. News Talk 830 WCCO. Don't call. Unless you're ready.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Metro Heating and Cooling delivers the highest quality products at the most affordable prices. Products like Trane furnaces and air conditioners. For more than 140 years, Trane has been setting and resetting the standard. Get your free estimate at metroheating.com.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Good congestion yet as travel Highway 100 northbound, make way toward I-94. 94 westbound jammed into Minneapolis as you move past Riverside to the Lowry Hill Tunnel. Update is brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, Schaefer's forecast brought to you by Washburn-McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services tonight. 35 is your low. Tomorrow and Thursday, 55 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be a DeRUSH delight. Sunny and 55. Might get some thunder and rain on Friday. Right now, 48 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
It's okay to be skeptical and cynical about this. I think that's part of the deal, but it's also okay to have fun.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Enough!
Texters coming through with things they've had enough of. Usually we do this on Wednesdays, a special Tuesday edition. I've had enough of the people that are deathly afraid to enter a roundabout until there are no cars at all on the left approaching the side of the circle.
Is there a greater failure of Minnesota driving than
the roundabout?
Understanding how to approach a roundabout?
It's not that scary. Just go for it.
It's, you know,
just go. The other people will slow.
Is somebody else going to hit me? No. Okay, I'm going to go now.
Just go. I've had enough of people telling me where they're going for spring break. I'm jealous. Oh. I don't know what to think about spring break. This year I got one kid going to Paris. I'm not paying for it.
The classic spring break destination of Paris, France.
His roommate is spending a semester abroad in London. And so they're going to meet this guy. But the dude didn't want to, he wanted to go somewhere on spring break too.
Sure.
So he's already in London. Must be nice. When I was a college student, you know where I went for spring break?
Nowhere.
Correct. Went back home to Des Plaines, Illinois. I have had enough of the phony controversy over the CEO of McDonald's, who posted admittedly borderline awkward people didn't like that he called it product, so he's going to taste it now. So this guy is getting roasted because they're saying that he does not look like he even likes it. And what I've had enough of is the expectation that every human being is supposed to eat food like an influencer does on Instagram. And I say this as someone who I know how to eat a burger on Instagram, right? You take a bite, you take one chew, then you go, and then you smile, and then you go like, oh, that's good. Now, have you swallowed anything?
No.
Probably not.
You know who they should have gotten to do this particular video? An influencer who knew what they were doing.
I mean, I think it's kind of, it turns out this CEO actually created the sandwich. So, like, he's just not an actor.
Exactly.
Our brains are so fried from looking at actors all the time on social media.
That's who you should have had done the video.
Well, it was just on his account. It's fine.
Silly.
Great ad. Turned out to be a great ad for the product. Don't you? The product. Oh, he called it a product. Oh, my golly. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Henry's next.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly